I've come to this cemetery at Seaford on the south coast of Sussex in England in the UK. Although only a small cemetery, Seaford is exceptional in the number of war graves. Because this was a launching pad, a port close to France, in the First World War, many troops were stationed here. And many of them were overseas troops, Canadians, West Indians and other nationalities. The first two memorials I come to are from the British West Indies Regiment. This one is Private T.D. Premo, October 1915, aged 35. And right alongside, Private I. Romney, 20th of November 1915. These two were such a long way from home. Moving further into the graveyard, we see a great mass of these war memorial stones here. Some of the 273 who are commemorated here. And further across, I can see another grouping. It's quite impossible to cover them all, but there's three here from the Canadian Infantry. Private A.S. Patterson, 1st Reserve Battalion Canadian Infantry, the last day of 1918. If I pan a little to the left, we have Lance Corporal M.J. Garlow, Canadian Engineers, 20th of December 1918. And perhaps you can just make that one out. That's Private R.H. Booth, 78th Battalion Canadian Infantry, 15th of February 1919. And as I run my eye down the row of stones, so many of them have the maple leaf on them. Although not all of them are in the Canadian regiments. They joined English regiments, but they're carrying the Canadian maple leaf. Just one more at random from so many of these Canadian memorials that I could choose from. Private C. Brooker, 108th Battalion Canadian Infantry, 3rd of January 1917. I've walked further into the cemetery and there is yet another large group of these war memorials, and on first inspection almost all of them are for the Canadians. Quite overwhelming, the number of Canadians that are remembered here in Seaford. This one is clearly a French Canadian, Private Oscar Paquette, 6th Reserve Battalion Canadian Infantry, October 1918. But if we look down at the foot of the memorial, where the relatives can put an inscription, you can see there that it's in French, and I won't try and pronounce it. Sapper K. Nesbitt, Canadian Engineers, 4th of November 1918, age 21. And then at the foot of the stone where the relatives add their piece, he died for king and country, but oh how we miss him. This is the smaller group of stones that we saw at the beginning, off to the left. Several here are from the SS Stanwold. The Stanwold was a collier carrying coal and just disappeared and sank. 21 lives lost, many of them washed ashore here. And this is to E. Parker, a fireman on the ship, February 1941, aged 40. And there are several others from that same ship nearby. And these are always poignant ones when they don't know the name of the person they found. The sailor of the 39-45 war, 1944, and right alongside another one, September 1944. This is another memorial to those who gave their lives in loving memory of my dear son, Pilot Officer Ronald Victor Gault, killed on active service, November the 28th, 1940, aged 23 years. And then beneath that, Pilot Officer Ronald Brownlee Gault, who was killed in a raid over enemy territory, July the 14th, 1942, and lies we know not where. And he was aged 32 years. Two stones standing in isolation. They commemorate two sailors of the war, buried on different dates, and likewise the one next to it. Two more unknown sailors, Merchant Navy, buried in 1940. Well, you may have gathered that it's been raining hard while I've been doing this video, but this is a very moving place to see all these men from far away who gave their lives to defend this country. Very large number of Canadians, and of course at the beginning we had the West Indians. There are other graves, but I haven't covered them in this video, partly because I believe the war graves are worth just standing on their own, and partly because it's raining really hard. So, till the next time, this is Seaford, and do come and see this graveyard. Till the next time.